are like a law, just like an act of parliament. And, Mr. Speaker, the standing orders also are not cast on stone, and therefore can be amended from time to time, just like it has been proposed this time. Under Standing Order 237, Mr. Speaker, when petitions are presented, there has been a practice of comments, and then at the same time, a report will be presented and the comments will still ensue. Although, Mr. Speaker, the main idea of brief comments on petitions was to guide the House or to give a general view to the committee, Mr. Speaker, it has ended up in consuming a lot of time for the House, and a lot of times will go up to 4 p.m. or 4:30 before we go into the main business, which are the bills. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to agree with the committee that this saves time of the House, and therefore the House will utilize that time to do more business, and especially legislative. Although it had its own place before it was reviewed, Mr. Speaker, that would be very useful into a committee. But again, how useful, Mr. Speaker? Sometimes those comments may not even, end up constituting the main part of the report, as the committee will still have to do its work. So I think, Mr. Speaker, the moves by the committee have been very positive, and it's to make this House efficient, make this House serve devolution and Kenyans much better. Mr. Speaker, I support.
Senator Chiranke. Oh, so why do you want to speak against Senator, and you are the one who seconded this particular motion? Senator Mungatana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
A deliberate error, Senator.
Mr. Speaker, I have looked at the proposals on the amendments on the procedure to present petitions in the House. And Mr. Speaker, I know that the chairman of JLAC has spoken on many other amendments, but I particularly want to mention this proposed amendment. Because, Mr. Speaker, the current procedure now, where the committee receives a petition, and Mr. Speaker, a petition is not like a normal thing. It's not a normal thing that comes before this House. A petition normally, Mr. Speaker, originates from citizens who have failed to get their justice. And it always says the matter is not in court. And they say that they have tried to do this and the other, and it has not succeeded. So a petition is like a special way to approach the Senate. Mr. Speaker, the current procedure where if the petition has been negatived by the committee, the standing committee where it has been referred to, the report just merely tables that it's negatived, and there is no debate. So the matter ends there. That procedure, Mr. Speaker, is really lacking. I particularly like this amendment that says whatever the committee finds and the committee files that report comes to the House as a motion. Mr. Speaker, I think that was a beautiful, a very superior amendment to how to deal with petitions. Why so, Mr. Speaker? Because when the amendment now comes before the House as a motion, we have the opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to debate it. And the citizens who have listened to, who have presented this petition before the House are able to hear the arguments for and against whatever their petition is, so that, Mr. Speaker, the matter is prosecuted with severity and the weight in which the people who have presented the petition have approached it. Mr. Speaker, petitions on land matters, for example, you hear people, the committee has sat, the committee has negatived that petition, the person who presented the petition may have presented it as a person, but it is affecting hundreds or even thousands of people who would want to listen to what happened. So, Mr. Speaker, I think the procedure that forces now whatever the petitioner, the committees have found out, to be brought to the House for debate as a motion, I think it's a very beautiful amendment that needs to be supported. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the chair of the JLAC for that particular amendment on petitions. And, Mr. Speaker, with those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to support. Thank you.
Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to also make my comments on the motion on proposed amendments to the standing orders of Senate. Mr. Speaker, the standing order number 267 provides that the committee procedure and rules may at any time propose amendments to the standing orders. Mr. Speaker, this was important because we are living in a changing world, changing scenarios, and we may have a situation where it is important for us to change our standing orders so that they are aligned to the current realities that we are facing as a House. Mr. Speaker, I fully support the amendment